Bum
Blink,
bum
blink,
bum
ding,
bum
bling.
bum
Ding,
bum
ding, ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding, ding,
bum bum
ding. Ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding,
bum
ding, ding,
bum
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 ding. Ding,
ba
ding,
da ba
ding,
da ba
ding,
da ba
ding,
da ba
ding,
da
ding,
ba
ding,
da
ding,
ba
ding, ding,
ba
ding,
ba
ding,
ba
ding,
ba
ding, ling,
ba
ling,
ba
ling,
ba
ling, ding,
ba
ding, 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 a ling, 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 a ding, diddling, ding, ding, diddling, ding, ding, diddling, ding, 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 diddling, ding, ding, ding.
Welcome to Hoya Podcast. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Jackie. I'm great.
Good. How's everyone out there?
Oh, yes. How are all of you? Good.
I hope everyone's okay.
I know. I'm assuming that you're all saying great, but who really knows at this point? Nothing is real anymore.
Everything's backwards.
Yep. And strange.
Nothing has felt normal. I have to
Right.
keep touching things to make sure that I'm in reality. Have you ever
Right.
heard of that type of anytime you start to feel yourself disconnect from reality where you're just like this is I'm having almost an out of body experience. They say to just do this tapping exercise where you tap your face and you tap 5 things around you, and it's just a way to reconnect with your environment.
Are you talking about dissociation? Like when
Yeah, I
somebody's
think that's
having kind of a PTSD experience and they're
yeah.
starting to dissociate, so you reorient to where you're at?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's what this whole last couple months have felt like. Months. See, who knows? Time isn't real anymore. Last
Time's
couple
not
of
real.
weeks, it's been strange. But you know what's been amazing? You got married.
I did.
Jackie and Will got married, y'all, and they had to do it all alone in a courthouse. It's so awesome. It's actually the
Yeah.
coolest shit. I love it.
Yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing. We've been kind of trying to plan a wedding, but it seems like maybe that might not be possible. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? And at the same time, I've been at my job for a few months, and I've been so close to getting health insurance. And now my hours are going down because of the pandemic, and so that kind of went out the window. And it occurred to us that if I did get sick, it could destroy us financially.
God.
So we were like, all right, let's maybe just bump this up a little bit. So I got married and had to go to a courthouse in another state because everything's shut down in North Carolina. And we met with one person there. Shout out to Gerald.
Yay,
Who
Gerald.
brought us into his office and told us not to come near him, and he read us vows, and then we went home. It was nice.
Oh. It was so awesome, you guys. Jackie told me, because normally we record on Fridays, and today is Sunday. So Jackie texted me on Thursday. She's like, "Hey, is it okay if we record maybe Sunday or Monday? I think Will and I are gonna go get married tomorrow." I was like, "Oh my God, yes, yes, it's fine." And she looked beautiful. She looked
Oh, thank
absolutely
you.
gorgeous. I loved her dress. So we're so excited. It's like I got married we're a throuple now.
Yes, yes.
No, I'm so excited, and what an amazing story in a time of so much uncertainty and fear, to hear, about your best friends getting married, and just love is real, y'all.
I know it's a hard time for everyone, and you know, it, I don't want to. I was telling you. Oh, yeah.
No,
It was nice.
you are allowed to be happy. And you are allowed, and we can talk about this.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm excited. I can't wait till we can actually celebrate with people.
Yeah. I know. Did you and Will, were you even able to kiss?
We had
Just a nice handshake with gloves on.
we had to handshake with sticks.
Do the elbow bump. You drove in separate cars.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's some good news, everyone. So make sure you say congrats to Jackie and Will.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everyone.
Now, let's do our stuff. And by our stuff, I
Yes.
mean podcast stuff.
Yes.
Yes. What do we do? Shout
Well,
outs?
we do shout outs, but before we get to that, I was also just telling Amy before we started recording that I realized that I think we only have about about 5 episodes left in season 2. So I really want to do something special for that, maybe an episode where we just kind of reflect on the season and talk about our favorite moments or maybe favorite quotes, episodes, I don't know,
Yeah.
scenes, maybe favorite listener songs, favorite reviews. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just like an overall recap of season 2 or the last season, because I'd like to continue doing that for sure for the many, 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 many more seasons we have to go.
Yeah, maybe we could even give out like little awards. We could call them the Hoies.
Yeah, we should do that. Absolutely.
So I just got excited about that.
Mhm. Mhm. That sounds like
But
a lot of fun.
I guess shall we get into shout outs?
Yes. Yes,
All right.
indeedy. So, real quick, I just want to say, Jackie, that we are 10 reviews on iTunes away from 200.
Ooh!
Can you effing believe
200 reviews.
200
200.
reviews? I mean, all of those are not, ones that people have wrote a review, but like have at least given a star rating to. So that's absolutely incredible. So thank you to all 190 of you who have reviewed. That's amazing.
That's almost as good as giving us money for the podcast. I mean, that's like so valuable.
It
Valuable.
it really is. It most certainly is.
We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So speaking of iTunes reviews, I'm going to go ahead and grab one. So we've got one from J Dirty Ton. J Dirty Ton, whatever the fuck it is. Sorry. Says these ladies are as hot as men. I don't know about that. Men is hot.
Yeah, that's high
Men's.
praise. Thank you.
hmm And it just says very relaxing to have total control over another living thing. Keep up the great content. Which I love that because that's when men it's the boy roses, also roses or something, and it's when Bobby gets into rose growing and he sees Min tending to her rose bush, and she's like, "Yeah, I started doing it once my doctor cut off my Xanax prescription."
That's right.
One of my favorite quotes from Min ever.
That's right. And I have 2 shout outs I want to do. One is also from iTunes, and it's from Beardma. 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 And it says, Santee Annie. And the body says, this podcast is phenomenal. I'm so excited for the next episode about Santa Anna's leg. Y'all are the best. Heart. And that's it. That's this episode. That's what we're talking
Yes,
about this episode.
this one.
That's this one. So thank you, Beardma. And my other shout out comes from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this one
I did.
from Jessica.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we got a message, I think this past Monday, from an Instagram person,
Mm-hmm.
a person who follows us on Instagram, named Jester Mester, aka their real name is Jessica. And they said, Hi, Amy and Jackie. My name is Jessica, and I've been wanting to write and let you know how much I love the show. King of the Hill is my all time fave and have watched countless times through the years. Not only do I love the breakdown of each episode, but I enjoy listening to you both talk about anything and everything. Good for you. I wouldn't blame you. We talk about it too much. If you can do me a favor and give me a shout out for my birthday, March 30th, I will
Woo!
be turning 31. That would really make my Tuesday, along with listening to, in my opinion, the best podcast out there. Thank you and keep up the great work. Jessica,
Yeah!
happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
And so this is coming out on Tuesday. So your birthday was yesterday. So
Mhm.
happy birthday. And 31 is very significant
Mhm.
because it is the 10-year anniversary of turning 21. And
Mhm.
the rule is you have to do the exact thing for your 31st birthday that you did for your 21st birthday.
Oh.
I don't know if that's possible, but because you can't leave the house, but I like to make a big deal about that because people always think, oh, 30, so 31 is whatever. Really, you've spent the last 10 years. If you're not drinking, then what else can you do when you turn 21? Gamble, I guess. I don't know. I
um, no, because what, you have to be 18 to gamble? Or no, 21, right?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you have to be at least old enough to drink to go
Yeah.
into I have no fucking clue. But 21, let's see. You can't rent a car yet. I
You
don't
can
know.
already vote. Well, I guess. Well, I no matter what you're doing, I hope you're having a wonderful birthday.
Right, it doesn't matter because you're not turning 21, you're turning 31. So happy birthday.
Go out. Well, you can't rent a car.
She can
Vote.
well, I was like, "Yeah, she can." Duh, no.
Vote not now. Right now. Well, whatever you do, make sure you wash your hands. Don't
Yes.
touch your face.
Yes.
I
I
hope
would
you're having a
sing
wonderful birthday.
Yeah, I would sing happy birthday to you, but I think all of us are probably pretty sick of that song simply
Oh my god.
because we use it to count the 20 seconds. So I'll sing the one from Futurama. Um, wait. What day is today? It's Jessica's birthday. What a day for a birthday! Let's all have some cake.
Yay!
So happy birthday, Jessica. I hope you had a incredible Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, I also want to say happy birthday to Marina because today is Marina's birthday. So happy birthday to our bestie, our love Queen Marine.
Yes.
She
Happy
doesn't listen
birthday
to
to
this.
Oh yeah, yeah, well. I like I kind of like wishing happy birthday to people that we actually know. And then I imagine that they finally start listening several months or even several years later, and then they feel guilty because they missed our birthday shout out.
And then
Uh,
they never said thank you to us like a
yeah.
bunch of rude a-holes.
Yeah, now they look like assholes. Not Jessica.
No.
Jessica's listening. But Maureen, you're on notice.
Happy birthday, you asshole.
Yeah. Fuck you and your birthday. No, just kidding.
Patreon, we ain't got no shout outs, but thank you to Laura for joining us on our last live podcast. She was there for the first one and there for the last one. Eventually we'll do them again, but for now, it's the last one.
I know. Laura's always been with us.
Ride or die. Love her.
Love her.
It's our girl. Let's do this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You look relaxed. I want you to be scared. All right. We are getting into season 2, episode 18. The Final Shinsult. Air date March 15th, 1998. And on this date, what happened on this date? User, so by the way, they graciously sent us a message on Instagram. It
Thank
is
God.
Instagram user 398AOPP6.
Ah! Rolls right off the tongue.
And it's also got PP in it.
Yeah.
So on this date, for the Final Shinsult on March 15th, 1998, Tim Maia, Brazilian musician, dies at the age of 55. Tim Maia was a pioneer of the samba rock genre and considered one of the biggest icons of Brazilian music. Also a socialist.
Hey.
All right. R.I.P. Tim Maia.
R.I.P. Thank you, 68PP. I'll just call you
398 AOPP6.
calling you peeps for short. PP.
Peeps. We're calling you peeps.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. All right. The Final Shinsult. Peggy is filling in for Mrs. Dorland at Arlen Middle School. Nope.
Did they put that on?
No, I just said it. I knew that was wrong. I don't know why. All right. Peggy is actually filling in for Mrs. Dorland at Tom Landry Middle School.
Mhm.
She's having the students reenact a battle from America's past, one in which the Illinois Volunteer Infantry captured the artificial leg of Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna in 1847. When the reenactment ends, Peggy explains that the general's prosthetic leg, which happens to be on display in an Illinois museum, it's been there for over a century. It's about to be returned to Mexico by the United States government. The leg is currently on tour, and the Arlen Museum is going to be its last stop in the U.S.
Uh, and Peggy makes that sick ass joke.
I know. I know what did she say, Jackie?
Uh, what's it? The Arlen Museum will be the last leg of the tour. She would
Yes.
say, or something like that.
Yes, and Peggy's just like,
So funny.
oh, and she goes, oh, Peggy.
Oh, Peggy.
I love like she's always her own hype man. I love it.
Oh my god, everyone's sitting there just staring with their mouths open, but it is funny.
Meanwhile, Hank and the guys are drinking in the alley. They see this Cadillac just careening wildly out of control, headed their way. Everybody jumps out of the way except for Bill, who's just, stuck with fear. He can't move. And it turns out the person in the Cadillac that almost kills Bill and almost dents the cooler,
Oh no.
I know, is none other than Cotton Hill, Hank's father. Hank asks Cotton, like, what are you doing driving? I thought that Dee Dee was your driver, because clearly Cotton cannot drive. Cotton informs Hank that he and Dee Dee have split up for good, and we get a flashback to some nice shitty behavior on Cotton's part, laughing hysterically because Dee Dee can't knit him a blanket or something for
His
his
feet are
knee feet.
cold, and he
Yeah.
wants, what does he want her to knit? Like a blanket for his feet or socks or something?
Yeah. And, she's like, I can't. I'm going to work. And he laughs hysterically at the prospect of a woman going to work. And she tells him, you got to put your socks on. And then I guess that just leads into an argument where Cotton says her ass isn't big enough anymore. And she's just like, fuck out of here. Goodbye. Which she should have just stayed gone away from Cotton, but whatever, we'll get. Anyway, since Dee Dee was his chauffeur, Cotton's license has expired. He let it expire. And he needs to go get it reinstated, but he has to pass the eye exam to renew it. And clearly he can't see for beans. So so he has memorized the eye chart, which I believe, which I've actually heard from people who have done that. They memorize the eye chart. Elderly people who don't have good eyesight, they'll memorize it and then they'll go do it and they'll get their license.
Smart.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yeah. Don't want to give up your freedom. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, this Cotton is awful and
Yes.
shouldn't be driving, but it really does kind of bring up the issue of accessible transportation for elderly people. And there's some statistic that says that if you take elderly person's license away, then they're some percentage more likely to be dead within the next 6 months.
Christ. I
Because
mean,
they just can't, they just have no way of getting around. But then that also kind of ties into, well, why isn't there more public transportation available for these people?
right. And I mean, I know when I was younger, my my grandpa, he was legally blind. Like he could barely see. I think he was like 90% blind. And he was still driving. He was still driving around. He could see when the lights turned red or green. And he knew how to get from, because my grandparents were living with us at the time. He knew how to get from our house to Publix, which was basically the only place he went to get his giant box of Carlton 100 cigarettes. Chain smoke those fucking long ass cigarettes all day long. Anyway, so he technically should not have been driving. Like he had to sit an inch away from the TV just to see shapes moving. Also, he was practically deaf, so should not have been driving, but he did for a long time, and I would be in the car with him so many of those times, just being like, "Papa, maybe I should drive," and I was 12. Like, "Oh, maybe I should drive." Comparatively, I would have been a better driver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did he ever get into an accident?
No, he certainly didn't, but eventually, it got to the point where it was like, "Okay, he can't we got you're living with us, we'll take care of you. Somebody will take you to the fucking store to get your 18 cartons of of cigarettes, so don't worry." But, I get it, he didn't wanna give up his freedom, he was an older
They
dude, and I feel like it's probably, demeaning, you
uh,
know?
when you it's such a weird thing to think about because by the time you get that old, you've lived your entire life, you've had a career, you probably fought in many, many world wars. You
Yes, yep,
had a family. You were just in charge of everything in your life. And then you get older, and all of that slowly gets taken away from you little by little. Other people have to do everything for you, and you just become a child.
yeah,
And the last little bit of freedom and independence you have is being able to just leave your house when you want to,
mhm,
and now you can't do it. So it
right.
is. I mean, it's terrifying to think of these people driving, but maybe it's less terrifying for us because we're from Florida, so we're just used to it. But
So used to it.
yeah,
Yeah, well, and even in this episode, Cotton Hank's talking to Cotton. He's like, "Well, you can't do this and you can't do that." And he says, "You can't tell me what to do. You're not my daddy. I'm your daddy." Like, that's what happens when people get older. Like, their children start to treat their parents like children. And it just kind of it's just got to be demeaning in a sense. Like, I diapered your ass and you're going to treat me like a kid?
yeah, yeah. It's messed up.
Oh,
Nobody wants to be treated like a child, but then nobody wants to treat their parents like a child. That can be very upsetting.
mhm.
It's if only there were better systems in place to
Yeah.
take better care of
I know, better care
our elderly.
facilities. I
Yeah,
know, God, ugh.
like they do in what, Norway and Japan.
Yeah, like, just create entire cities just for them, like,
Yeah,
entire, like, blocks that are just for them with, like, a grocery store within walking distance and somebody to gently guide them back home when they get lost and
yeah, and you're treated with dignity and
Mhm,
revered for your wisdom
mhm.
instead of, uh, you know, being treated like a little poopy baby.
Yeah, that would be much better. Alright, back to the story. Where was I?
Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
here we go. Nope, nope,
Cotton
I'm good.
almost killed Bill.
Yes, he almost killed Bill. Anyway, so he tells Hank, "I've memorized the eye chart. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get my license back."
Oh,
So
yeah.
Hank and Bobby go with Cotton to the DMV, and Hank stealthily has the DMV worker change out the eye exam chart so Cotton can't just read it off from memory. Cotton fails because he can't see, and he's furious about this. We go back to the house. They're back, everybody's standing out drinking beers again outside the house. And Hank just, I don't know why anyone tells Dale anything that should be secretive or a secret. Just don't do that. Anyway, so now Dale knows and immediately rats Hank out to Cotton.
Especially when it comes to Cotton, because he's always just trying to be up Cotton's butt.
Yeah, he is kissing Cotton's ass so hard in this episode. Just full brown lips the entire time. He
Mhm.
is deep in there.
Yeah.
Cotton is told by Dale and in front of everyone that Hank had them switch out the chart and he's furious. And he's like, "Fuck you, I'm going over to Dale's." So and Dale just starts calling Cotton daddy, which
Yeah.
is just like, what's happening here?
He's really, really trying to rub it into Hank. I mean, oh my
Yeah,
god.
yes. Cotton's over at Dale's house now, and Dale, being the kiss ass that he is, he creates a phony driver's license for the old man. That's what was written.
Oh, yeah.
But Cotton's efforts behind the wheel land him in trouble with the police. He just smashes into a meter, and the police are like, "Well, I think he has dementia." So they go easy on him and have Hank come and get him. Even though Cotton sexually assaults this police officer,
Yeah.
they still let him go. And it turns out the license that Dale created for Cotton is made out of a cereal box.
Yeah. The back
he
of a
uses
Cheerios box.
Yeah, he uses that as like the backing for it. Which I remember I was in high school and I made my friends fake IDs, but you just printed it out on photo paper and you could not take that out of the little window. Have I already told this story? I think I
No,
have.
but I mean, he's not going to listen to any of our
Yeah.
episodes, but Will did the same thing
Yeah.
where you just like print it out and you put it in the little window of the wallet and you
Mhm.
just flip open your wallet.
Yep. Even even though we were clearly children and we're just like, "Hi, can I have a 20 pack of Bush Light? I'm old enough."
Yeah, you have what is clearly a 16-year-old going into a store and buying like 3 cases of Natty Ice.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
I remember one time we did it. The first time I ever made a fake ID, it was my friend. It was two of our friends, and one of them, she had full braces on. She had braces on. And I made the ID and I'm like, this looks great. And we're like, we gotta make her look older. So we like do her makeup, and I'm not kidding. It was just full blue eyeshadow up to her eyebrows. We put her in a suit. She had like a skirt suit with shoulder pads. And we sent her in, and, like, thank God the clerk didn't even ask for her ID, because when she came back out, we had seen friends that were there. They're like, "You made her an ID? Oh, we wanna see it." I'm like, "Yeah, here it is." And it turns out I completely forgot to change the birth date in one, like, the biggest part. Like, on Florida IDs, it has the driver's license, and right in the middle is your date of birth. And I didn't know you had to change that, so it still said '88, and we were,
Oh
like,
my god.
14 years old. But we got the beer because the clerk didn't give a shit.
Ugh. I was able to make my first year of college, I was able to make my own fake ID just because I went to school in New York, and at the time the driver's license they gave out were, laminated but not as hard, shiny, plasticky.
Mhm.
So I was able to just take a Crayola pencil and just change the year, just like I just wrote over it and it looked uncanny. It was perfect.
That's amazing.
I know. Now they I mean, now
Oh,
all
yeah.
IDs are so shiny, so plastic. I think when you're under 21, then they're long. They're like hot dog instead of hamburger.
Yeah, in Florida, that's how they are. I don't know how
Yeah,
if that's how they are anywhere
I think
else.
some other places, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the smart way to do it. Hank brings Cotton back to his house, but, Cotton jumps out of the truck and goes to Dale's house, and they both moon Hank, which is so good. It's the first time seeing full Dale ass,
Yes.
which beautiful, loved it.
Oh my god.
I
Holy
loved it,
crap.
but we didn't see any ladybird, no ladybird, but
Whoa. Damn, good eye, Amy. I've been looking for it. I completely missed it this time.
probably just didn't even, like, realize, "Oh, it's Dale ass," you know?
Yeah.
But,
Ooh.
oh, so good, so good. They both moon Hank. Just I love it, like, Dale has to pick Cotton up so he can, like, so
I
his
know.
ass is on the window. Oh, so funny. Hank is just like, "Alright, we gotta get Cotton out of our immediate vicinity." So he goes to Dee Dee's work and tries to convince her to please take Cotton back or just reconcile something, get him the fuck out of my neighborhood. And Dee Dee, she's just like, she tells Hank, "Well, no, Cotton, he loves a thick booty, and he told me that mine was too small." And she does like a reenactment of what happened, and he falls for Dee Dee after he catches a view of her big old donk.
Oh yeah, because it's a flashback to when they first meet at the hospital. She's what, like a candy striper?
Yeah, she's a candy striper, and her butt knocks over like a jar of what are those, like, tongue depressors or something, and she bends over to pick him up, and he can see her ass like magnified through the jar, and he's just like, Jesus.
Yeah,
She's got a nice ass. So
for real. I love when she's telling that story too, because she's just like, it was just like Romeo and Juliet.
and then she's like, my butt's not too small, right, Hank? And just like flips over and
Yeah,
like take a look at it, and he's like, oh my God. Hank is trying to like kind of placate Cotton because Cotton's just so out of his damn mind. He asks Cotton to chaperone Bobby on a museum trip. Cotton takes up the offer, and while they're there, he gets really pissed off during the museum tour because Santa Anna's leg is there, and they're talking about how they're going to give the leg back and everything. And he's saying we shouldn't be giving that back, finders keepers, that kind of bullshit.
yeah.
Hank kind of scolds Cotton. He's just like, I'm not going to tell you again to zip it, scolds him like a child. And this really pisses Cotton off. And I think just kind of sets into motion Cotton and Dale stealing the leg from the museum.
Ugh, they are such
They're
assholes.
such assholes. The two of them together is a genuine, like, security, American national security concern.
Yeah, seriously.
The FBI is having like a field day when they're together. They're like, fuck, they're together. They take the leg, and Cotton has this idea that he's going to negotiate with, I think with Mexico, into giving him a valid driver's license in return for the leg. He's just gonna go there and be like, I have a priceless treasure of yours. Give me a license.
Yeah.
Apparently, the police show up, and I assume it was Peggy who called in like an anonymous tip, like, I know where the leg is, to get Cotton arrested.
Yeah, I wonder how they knew. I wouldn't doubt it though.
Yeah, because Hank tells Peggy about it. He's like, I saw them
Yeah.
taking the leg. And I know Hank wouldn't call in the police on his dad, so it had to have been Peggy,
Ugh,
which I love. She's
I
just
know.
like, get the fuck out of my house and life.
Seriously.
But they drag Cotton away and they put him in the psych ward of the VA, of the Veterans Hospital. A doctor informs Hank that if his father doesn't remain at the facility, he's going to have to require around the clock supervision, because Cotton is like, he seems like he's out of his mind crazy because he's saying all these weird things, but they're valid. But if you didn't know all these events that just happened, it sounds like he's just saying random crazy things.
Out of context, they do sound insane. Although, didn't the doctor say that he tried to?
He took something of one of the doctors, of the psychiatrists, and like claimed it as like a war prize or something.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not well.
No.
Like, there is something with his personality that prevents him from being able to function independently in the world. I mean, without Dee Dee, he can't function independently.
No, he can't. Yeah, without Dee Dee, he can't be a functioning adult.
I like when they admit him and the doctors are saying he can't be alone, which I think is accurate. They
Mhm.
were just like, he needs round the clock care, which
Mhm.
that's what Dee Dee did. And now
Right.
without Dee Dee, Hank or Peggy will have to fill that role, which I mean, it was easy for them to maybe not fully acknowledge how impaired he is
Mhm.
because Dee Dee was taking care of him, but I think he is impaired.
Well, yeah, and, I mean, they had short stints of, like, being around him, like, he would come for short breaks or, like, short visits, but then when his caretaker was Dale, it was just like, "Okay, let's feed into this, like, clear personality disorder and, like, paranoid thinking." Like, the two of them together are just like a total tornado. They're just
Yeah,
gonna destroy everything that they come in contact with.
just fanning the fire of
Yes.
insanity.
Yes, for sure. So Hank, he's kind of like, well, maybe he should be there because he's acting so crazy. Like, he's even more than usual. But Hank, he can't really. One, he's like, we can't have him at our house. Clearly, like that would one destroy their marriage, and he would probably end up killing someone. Hank would or Cotton would end up killing one of them in the family, maybe on accident, maybe most likely on purpose,
Or
and it would
Peggy would end up killing Cotton.
Yeah, definitely. She would definitely poison him for
Yeah.
sure. Um, so he's like, "We can't have that. I can't let him rot in the VA hospital because it's just depressing there, it's just again, you know, care facilities for the elderly or for people with, who can't function independently are generally not the best places to be. Not great
Yeah.
care happening there."
I mean, I suppose
Uh,
they could set up if they got him on the right medication and they had an in-home caregiver possibly, but still that's a lot to take
Cotton
on.
would not take medication.
Oh, they'd have to crush it up in his applesauce.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he would have to not be made aware that he is taking medication.
Yeah.
Those 2 options are out, so Hank brings Dee Dee to the VA. He's like, "This is all we've got. We gotta put this woman back in an abusive relationship because
Oh god.
'cause we 'cause we simply can't deal with him."
Oh my god. When you say it like that, whole oh, you're
"She's good
right.
for him. She's good for it. No,
Oh,
they need to they're meant for each other. They're meant for each other, please. Please
she
go back with
looks
this guy."
so broken down and tired. Oh my god. You're
She's,
right. You're
like,
right.
so close to thriving and living a good life, and they're like, "But maybe you guys should be together." So Hank brings Dee Dee to the VA, and it kind of recreates the moment of when Dee Dee and Cotton first meet. He has her knock over a jar. They puts on, I think it's the Anderson sisters, puts on like that old timey song that's playing, and he looks like a little baby to her. She's like, "Oh, look at you in your little gown. You look like a baby." And she knocks over the jar with her ass again and bends over, and Cotton's like, "Damn, sorry, I said it was too small," and
Like, if anything, it's too big.
I know. And she's like, "Bitch." He turns around and he's like, "But I loves you, or I likes you for you, for who you are." So
Yeah.
she takes him home and takes them out of the Hills' life for the time being.
Yeah.
Then we see the official ceremony of returning Santa Anna's leg back to the Mexican people, but one of their generals straps it on, and it's like a symbolic gesture of him walking it back to once it gets back to the Mexican flag, it's officially returned home. Before he does that, it just crumbles into pieces. And Joseph, he's just like, "Wait a second, that's the fake leg that I made for the play that we were in. That's not his real leg." And then we cut to a DMV located in Mexico where Cotton is trading the leg for a valid driver's license. And then that's the episode.
Yay! Oh my god, what an asshole. So, like, it's so offensive that they would return this leg, but it's okay because he needs a driver's license.
I know. Fucker. I feel like, Jackie, I was like, are we as bad as the people who say that they hate Peggy because we hate Cotton so much? But no, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean,
You
he's
know,
he's legitimately a bad person. He's abusive.
yeah, he is abusive. I mean, best case scenario, there's some kind of brain damage going on. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean which could explain his unacceptable behavior,
Mhm.
but I mean, his behavior is still unacceptable.
Complete
Uh,
lack of impulse control.
oh, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, God, there's so people are just determined to hate Peggy no matter what. I of course I just like saw another post on another Facebook group, of course, where one person was like, "I don't understand why everyone hates Peggy. I think she's pretty great." And then there were just 8,000 comments of people just being like, "She's terrible and I hate her and here's why." And one person, I think the person who made the post was making the point that, I love Dale, but he's done really crazy stuff too. Why don't people hate him? And
Mhm.
one person made the point that, well, Dale is, a loyal friend and this and that, and Peggy is like manipulative and she's like manipulated Bill and she's done this and that and so she's worse. And I never respond to these. There's like no one on the internet wants to have a discussion, but I was like, hey,
Right.
I love Dale, but he has literally left people for dead. or
he
even like
has
attempted to kill people.
he has advocated for Bill to kill himself so many times.
Yeah. And so and I was like, so I mean I like Dale, but if we're keeping score, technically Dale's worse. And then this person responded with, well, Dale's just a better character. Like without him, the show would be terrible, but without Peggy, nobody would care. So it was just, I feel like that's just
Ugh.
like the type of people that hate Peggy are just determined to hate her. They'll come
Yeah.
up with every reason, but really the reasons don't matter. They're just determined to hate her. Which again, we will admit that Peggy can be difficult or like
Yeah.
frustrating sometimes, but I don't think it's on the same level. I don't think she. You want to talk about manipulative? I mean, Cotton has been so horribly abusive to Hank, Tilly, Dee Dee, just to everyone in his life. But then you see him when once he's stuck in the VA, how
Mm.
manipulative he is when
Mhm.
he's trying to convince Hank to get him out of the hospital. And I forget exactly what he says, but he's just really laying it on thick and just, you're not going to leave me here. I'm sorry if I do this or if I do that. Well, can you please forgive me? And it's just like, this is
So
manipulative.
so first he says, um, "If I tell you where the leg is, will you take me out of here?" He tells them where the fake leg is. So he's still manipulating the situation and manipulating people where he's not even telling them where the real Santa Anna's leg is because he still wants to use it in order to uh, barter or blackmail or whatever the Mexican government into giving him a license. So he's lying the whole way through. Like his remorse is not sincere whatsoever.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
just he just sucks. I wrote that. I was like, God, holy shit, I hate Cotton. I wrote that down. I
He,
wrote it down when he was smashing the plates in anger. I was
yeah.
like, that is such an abusive way to like it's instilling fear into your family, and that's an act of abuse.
Yeah. You have a problem with your wife having probably a part-time job working at a makeup counter. That's controlling. That's abuse.
Talking about her body, saying it's not good enough, that's abuse.
Yeah, I mean, I was struck by that line at the end when he was, they were getting back together and he was saying your butt's not small at all. Maybe it's too big, but I love you for who you are.
Mhm.
That struck me because that's just it was nice to see a genuine moment from him. We are thirsty as fuck for it, but it was just very out of character for him.
Well, it's a typical play in the abuser's handbook. Be an asshole, say shitty things, do shitty things, and then when have a inkling of remorse, or not even really remorse, just to get your way, apologize or say, be kind for a little bit, and then you go back into the pattern of being abusive,
Yeah.
which is what happens with Cotton and Dee Dee over and over again.
Yeah. So I don't know. Cotton definitely serves his purpose, and
Yeah,
it. I think I think it's understandable that we would have some major issues with him.
right. All right. Anywho, so that's actually, I mean, I'm glad we had that conversation because I was thinking, can I talk about how much I hate Cotton? Because it feels a little bit what's the word? What?
Not hypocritical.
Well, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling hypocritical to be like, oh my god, Cotton is the fucking worst. I hate him. And then to be like, people who hate Peggy are, they're full of shit, blah blah blah. Which I don't really feel that way. It's just more like I get really sick of the Peggy hate for someone who there's clearly another character that really deserves that hate, which is Cotton.
Yeah.
Who is objectively a bad person.
Or maybe you don't hate Cotton. Maybe you like Cotton, but it just goes back to that argument of all the reasons you say Peggy is a bad person, those qualities are also in other characters, sometimes to a greater degree, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a problem with it when it's other characters. So
Other male characters.
yeah. So
So,
so
all right. Anyway, Besides that, do you have any favorite quotes or anything from this episode?
Yes, I wrote down a few things. One of the quotes I wrote down when Hank goes to visit Dee Dee while she's at work to try and convince her to take Cotton back. And after that whole exchange where she shows him her butt and he gets a little uncomfortable, then he turns to leave and Peggy walks up in a dress she was trying on and she's just like, "Look, Hank, Isotoner makes sundresses now." And she does a little spin.
It's like this it's almost like the burlap sack of dresses.
Yeah. It's so perfect for Peggy. Like if only if only it makes me think, "Look, Hank, Easy Spirit makes dresses now." You know,
Exactly.
or "Look, Hank, Crocs makes dresses now." It's so perfect for Peggy.
Yes, that's
Um,
exactly what it is.
and I like also another Peggy quote when Cotton is admitted into the hospital and they're hearing from the doctor that, all of the shit he's doing, and Hank's like talking to the doctor, he's like, "What are you gonna do with him?" And Peggy's like, "Just keep him here forever?" And she has a big smile on her face.
I wrote that one down too. I loved it. Peggy's hopeful, like, "Just keep him here forever?"
Yeah,
I wrote that one down too. I know, like, of the few quotes I wrote down, like, 3 of them are from Peggy.
yeah, I love it. And I also love when Dale and Cotton are hiding Santa Anna's leg in Dale's closet, and they have like a little shrine to it with little candles. But then on the top shelf of his closet is just a pile of Dale hats. Like he
Yeah.
has a ton of backup hats.
No one's seeing that chrome dome.
No. And then the only other note I made was when Cotton moves in with Dale, it just occurred to me, of all the people, I'm surprised that, because Cotton's pretty astute, I'm surprised that Cotton hasn't at some point straight up told Dale, "Your wife is cheating on you and this is not your son."
I wonder if it's because Dale kisses his ass so much and is generally willing to do whatever Cotton wants, that if he maybe Cotton is aware that, like, if I tell Dale this, like, I don't think Dale would even he wouldn't even agree. He would be in that he's in such denial that he wouldn't even hear it. He'd be like, "How fucking dare you say that to me? Get out of my house," kind of thing. Like, he wouldn't be like, "Oh my god, you're right." I think that Dale would just be like, kind of like kill the messenger type thing. Like, he's not going to believe it until he like sees it with his own eyes, which I'm sure he has, but he's just not processing it. But
Yeah.
I feel like, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like Cotton is so manipulative, he could use that information, but he's like holding on to it for a good moment. Like, maybe if he ever needs to like fuck Dale up or something.
Yeah. And also, what you said also made me think that Cotton is Cotton always has Dale there to use and manipulate when he needs to use or manipulate someone. And Dale is always more than willing to be manipulated and used by Cotton. But Dale probably would be much more useless if he didn't have the stability that Nancy provides for him.
Oh yeah. Would he even have a home?
Yeah.
I imagine Dale would live under a bridge if he didn't have Nancy.
Would he like have the capacity to do Cotton's bidding? If he would probably become very unstable then and just be totally useless to. So he probably needs Dale to have Nancy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody needs Dale to have Nancy. That's why no one's telling him that she's cheating on him. They're all just like, "Oh, he's better with Nancy."
That's true.
Kind
Yeah.
of like Cotton and Dee Dee, like, "Oh, let's just not
Oh
they
my
need to be
God.
together. They need to be together for these 2 incredibly unstable men."
That's true.
Um, but piggybacking off of that, I wrote down I like how Nancy just lets Dale do whatever he wants because she can so easily carry on her very, very obvious affair with Dale preoccupied doing whatever the fuck crazy thing he wants to do.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
and also probably a little guilt just being like, "Well, I guess he can make a fake ID for an old guy. I'm fucking his son isn't his. His son is not biologically his." So,
yeah. It keeps him busy.
yep, keeps him busy and out of my hair.
Yeah, out of my hair.
Her big, big hair.
Full of secrets. Well, what about you? Any other quotes,
I
moments?
mean, yeah, you pretty much got all of mine except there is one where a great Luann moment where she comes running in to talk. She says like, "Aunt Peg, Uncle Hank, there's a Santa Claus exhibit at the museum and someone stole his leg." Ow! And then
I
they
love
just
that.
look at her like, "Oh, for God's sake, Luann."
I love that. That like took me a second because it's just she's not a major player in this episode at all, but she just kind of runs in and drops that little Santa Claus line.
I know, I love it. Um, and I did like at the very end of the episode where they, do a little PSA. They're like, this is based off of the true story of Santa Anna's leg, and that the creators of King of the Hill were advocating for the leg to be returned to Mexico. They are like, we
Yeah,
we should return this. We should not keep this, as a fuck you kind of thing.
yeah,
And that was pretty much it because you got a bunch. Oh, and I did write down where it said Dale says to Hank, "So you switched the eye chart. That was a good plan if you silenced the clerk." I was like, he should have silenced Dale. Should have just put duct tape on that idiot's mouth.
seriously.
He instantly rats him out just as soon as he possibly can.
Yeah, just right in front of Hank too. It's a very much a playground pointing at the person and like while you're telling the teacher while they're staring right at you like he did this.
Oh, exactly. Listener comments?
Yes. Do we have a song?
Note.
No songs. All right, everyone. Get us some fucking songs, okay?
Okay?
You gotta stay at home.
You're all at home. Get our
Yeah,
songs.
give us some songs.
All you gotta do is sing a song. That's all you gotta do.
Let's
That's
get just record it. Send it over.
it.
Um, JK. But if you do want to send us a song, hello@hoyapod.com. I just
Yes.
love hearing people's voices. I love it. I love it. I love
Mhm.
it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
all right. Do I have a song that I was making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go to leave listener comments. Bum 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 bum. And you're listening to Oh Yeah. Bum bum. You wanna be where you can see the comments are all the same. You wanna go to listen to Oh Yeah. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba, blue.
Amazing.
Please cut out that ant one. I hate it.
No, I love it. Fine, I'll
I
cut it out, but I'm posting it somewhere anyway. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, very well done. I love Cheers. I
Yes.
love that. So good.
God, that's another one. They don't make intro songs like they used to.
They sure don't.
They would just record a full length song with like a guitar solo in the middle of it. The production was incredible, and now they just don't do it anymore.
Do we even have opening credits?
I feel like if it's anything, it's just like a quick shot of the title of the show with like beep, 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 and then that's
Well,
it.
and also like with Netflix, you just skip intro
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
So what's the point? All right. Listener comments. All right. So again, we did not do this in enough time. I completely forgot. Jackie at least remembered.
I know. I only remembered this morning.
Melissa.Manon. I laugh literally every time Cotton says Santa Annie. Oh man, but okay. Scally guy underscore VA. This is one that I actually forgot to say because I did write this down as a quote that I love, but is hear that, Hank? Daddy's staying with me. Dale's such an asshole.
Oh, 80s Horror-thon also noticed Dale's closet is filled with orange Mac hats. Did
Awesome.
I?
Gracie, no. Cling peaches and heavy syrup. When he sees Dee Dee's bottom for the first time.
Well, Thunder Muffin and DXR underscore 30 both made note that Cotton's fake ID was made from a cereal box. DXR underscore 30 noted that it was a Cheerios box, and Thunder Muffin referenced the part where the officer looked at the license and said it says here his name is General Mills.
Oh, I love that. Drucifer2A says, Daddy is taking me putt-putting. Love Hank's like, stop calling him Daddy.
Some tribe, a quote by Clark Peters, what's the hantavirus? Which I didn't know what that was either, so I just Googled it, but I guess it is a real virus.
Well, I love Peggy. She's like, you usually get it from rat droppings, and then she
That's
just
right.
she just blows past that. Like, how the fuck did this teacher get a virus from rat droppings?
Yeah.
No explanation. Ron Schaefer and Thunder Muffin. Shall we retire to the leg room, Colonel?
Bender's Redemption. My favorite moment is Cotton and Dale mooning Hank. It is a classic moment.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Don't call me Caitlin says, get your knitting sticks.
Last one by Becca Thunderdome. A couple quotes by Dooley when he says, attack and I stole your leg.
Yay!
Yay!
Great listener comments, everyone.
I know. We appreciate it. I wish I remembered to post this a little earlier because
I know. I totally forgot.
I know.
We're human, okay?
Yeah. Time is weird. Time doesn't
It
exist,
is.
and yet it only
No.
exists. It's the only thing that exists right now.
And it just keeps going.
It keeps going, but nothing changes, but everything changes. Uh-oh, I need to start tapping things. Tapping, tapping, tapping. Tapping, tapping, tapping. Uh-oh. Right
Jackie,
now.
stay with me, Jackie.
Tap, 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 tap. Actually, that's probably the worst thing you could do is tap a bunch of objects and then tap your face. And then tap other objects.
Right.
Don't do that.
Just put your fingers in somebody else's mouth immediately. I need to reorient myself. Open up.
Up their nose.
Yeah. I know. I told someone, I was like, I'm going to touch everybody's holes as soon as this is over.
Oh, it's going to be so weird.
I know. Oh, I do want a hug. I really miss a hug. That's so sad.
I've always been one of those people that loves to stay home. I get stressed out if I run into anyone. I get stressed out by crowded bars. I get stressed out by hugs. Unless it's someone I'm very close to, I'm just like, well, I guess I have to do this, but I don't want to. But yeah, I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, it's going to be weird and kind of sweet when we
bring it in.
Hug.
Get in these arms, you.
Get in here, you net. Just group hugs everywhere.
I know.
Just hugging my mailman, the checkout lady, like, thank you for my receipt. Thank you.
You know, I love hugs. I do, and I'm one of those people. I touch a lot.
It's
so
great.
I'm one of those people. I don't like hugging random people. I mean, I guess I don't give a shit. I'll touch anyone. Generally, I'll hug, most people. But I also really enjoy being home all the time. So I'm kind of torn between the two. Sometimes I'm like, I could really use just like looking at someone in person right now. But also I don't mind being home literally all the time.
It's weird to think about when will it happen? What's going to be different?
Yeah, so that's the episode. Any last thoughts, Jackie, or no?
Well, one of the things that I was thinking of was trivia.
Oh fuck! Oh my god, Adoy! Oh! Silly, silly me. I've got a couple. How about you?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
All right. Let's do this.
All right. Do you want to go first or?
No, you, please.
Okay. Amy,
Yes.
what year did Bill not wear shoes?
That's the first one I have for you. 1976.
Yeah.
Oh, we're becoming too alike.
I got so scared. I was like, "Oh shit, this episode's full of dates and
I
cities and places." Like, all right. And my second question is, where did Dee Dee and Cotton first meet?
The VA hospital.
May I please have the full name?
The
No,
Dallas
that's
VA
fine.
hospital.
No, that's fine. I wrote down the full name, Veterans Administration Hospital.
God, get the fuck out of here. Oh, we will not accept abbreviations.
VA could
All right.
stand for anything: vagina, anus, very articulate, Vin Diesel, asparagus. I don't know.
All right. Are those all your trivias?
That's it.
All right. So you already took one of mine. So I have two more. Who was the president in 1998 that Cotton calls a draft dodger?
Clinton?
Yeah. That guy sucks. That guy sucks. Bill
Yeah.
Clinton sucks. All right, I got one more. While Hank and Peggy are at the VA hospital checking in on Cotton, Hank says to Peggy, "Look, Peggy, board games." What 3 games does he then list?
Shoots and ladders.
Mm-hmm.
Checkers.
Mm-hmm.
And mahjong.
No, dominoes, but damn, you got 2 out of 3.
Oh, that was a good
Mahjong.
one.
Oh, fuck.
Complete guess.
All right, well done.
Well done to you.
Yeah, I guess. Awesome. Thanks for reminding me of trivia. I totally forgot.
Course. Do you, by chance, know what the next episode is?
Yes. It is Leanne's saga.
Oh.
Luann's mama.
Oh shit.
This is it's a great episode. There's going to be so much to talk about.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long one.
It's going to be very long. But I am excited. This is going to be great.
Yeah. All right, Jack. No guest stars, right?
No, I didn't see any.
No, I didn't. Okay. No, I didn't either, as if I fucking looked. I did not. I just rely on you for it, just so you know. That's now your job.
Well, if we missed it, please let us know. But I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't. Nothing popped out to me.
Nope. No. All right. Let's end this.
All right. Yep. Everyone stay safe. Wash your hands. Rate, review, subscribe. Join us over on Facebook. Send us your listener comment songs. Okay. To hello@hoyapod.com.
All right. That is officially the episode. Jackie and I were just discussing some really exciting things that we're going to look into. So keep your ears peeled.
Keep your ears pure.
For future info on that stuff. But until next time, and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3.
Vaya con Dios. La 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 la.
Oh.